council members.
I know.
You see how much firecrackers have went up?
We are live, 7 o'clock.
I got some M80s just to have fun with, you know. They even,
Yep, sorry.
they doubled the price. And I didn't get that many.
More people will be buying them.
Okay, we will call the Village of Mount Sterling Council meeting for June 13th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Stephen,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Joyce,
Here.
Becky,
Here.
Rob,
Here.
Andy,
Here.
all present.
David, could you do a prayer for us this evening?
Lord, thank you for another day. And Lord, be with the village tonight and touch all the people there and be with our mayor and council and all the village citizens and touch them tonight, Lord. And also be with our great country tonight, Lord, and touch it. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so at this time, I need a motion to amend the June 13th, 2022 agenda to include Resolution 2022-03, 2022-04, 2022-05, and Ordinance 2022-6, 2022-7, 22-8, 2022-9, 2022-10.
You had that motion.
You have that second.
That was David, Joyce.
Yep, roll
I'll
call.
go ahead, I'll go ahead and ask them the names
Okay.
for your voice sake. David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
and Andy.
Yes.
Okay,
Your new agendas are at your seats.
can I have a motion to approve the following minutes from the council meeting held May 23rd, 2022, and a special council meeting held on May 27th, 2022? Can I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Bill,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
Andy,
yeah. Roll call, please.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Okay. Mayor's report, I will try to get through this. First of all, I'd like to remind everybody, and I don't know if you were gonna do this or not, but Friday is free fishing weekend. So anybody that wants to go fishing it's always on Father's Day weekend. It's free, you don't have to have a license, and go out and see Deer Creek or wherever you like to fish and have some fun. Okay? Also wanted to let you know that we will not be in the office on Monday. That is Juneteenth. We passed that last year, that we'd have that day off. It's actually on Sunday, but the state, or I guess nationally, they're observing it on Monday. I will need any info that you have for the newsletter by Wednesday, because we want to get it, Becky would like to have it for Summer Jam, and we've got the movie things figured out, but I just need some more information. Anything from your committees or anything that you know that's going on in and around our area.
Did you say Wednesday on that? Okay.
Lastly, we're gonna kind of skip or jump or do a little twisty loop-de-doo. Today we have some members in our audience that are members of the Jimmy Gossard family, and they are here to, as we read a proclamation in his honor. And before we do that, Michelle Day, 15709 Florence Avenue, Mount Sterling. She was the person that was kind enough to reach out to me, and would you like to say a few words before I read the proclamation?
I just thank you guys for considering whatever you're going to do. Greg will serve this town my entire life, so almost my entire life, and he just passed away in April. So he was the police chief for I guess only about 4 or 5 years of that, and then was the police officer for most of it. So yeah.
Okay. I did not get to know him, I'm not sure how I missed getting to know him, but all I've ever heard is good things. So I will read this proclamation, I hope. From the office of the mayor, the village of Mount Sterling, this is a memorial proclamation. Whereas, in learning of the passing of Jimmy Gossard on April 7th, 2022, the village of Mount Sterling, Ohio recognizes the dedication and service displayed by Mr. Gossard. Whereas Mr. Gossard, a resident of Mount Sterling for many years, who served in the United States Army as a cook, and whereas Mr. Gossard also gave his service to Mount Sterling as a firefighter for 2 years, and whereas Mr. Gossard dedicated 26 years of his life working for the Mount Sterling Police Department and served as chief until he retired in 1989, and whereas Mr. Gossard was a member of the Mount Sterling Lodge number 269, and also was a member of the American Legion. Whereas the many residents of Mount Sterling wish to honor Mr. Gossard's volunteerism, dedication, and heroism while risking his life, committing to the preservation of life and property, and upholding our laws, rights, and freedoms. Where on this day, June 13th, 2022, we give both our thanks for such an amazing life of dedication and service, and our sorrow for the loss of Mr. Gossard as we hold his family in our hearts. Now, therefore, I, Marcy Darlington, in appreciation of Jimmy Gossard's devotion and service to the village of Mount Sterling, Ohio, desire that there should be this permanent record of gratitude for his community service. We have a copy of this if you would care to have it. I don't know, somebody want to pass it down?
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here this evening. Don't stay if you don't want to. I mean, feel free to stay if you would like. I do wish I would have had the chance to meet him. And as I said, all I ever heard was good things. Does anybody on council want to make a comment about?
Jim was my neighbor for years, and I seen all the children grow up, and he was always there to help you. I can remember when I was a patrol boy, and Jim would be right there watching us, and one day he caught me throwing a snowball. He said, "Dave, you're not dedicated enough," so I had to straighten up very quickly. But he was a great man, and he was always good. Probably one of our best, and I was in the American Legion with him, and very dedicated, and I'm proud to call him a friend too. And he was a great man.
I got to know this family at a young age, and one thing that we always did is they'd have New Year's parties, and we'd always get out to the basement and play pool, and you never challenged Jim in a game of pool. You wouldn't win. It didn't matter how hard you tried. And he was very quiet. He was a man of few words that I knew, but when he talked, you listened, because obviously he has something important to say, and it was always very wise. He was a pillar of the community, and again, I'm sorry for your loss. He will be missed by very, very many people.
I would like to say, I'm sorry for your loss. And also, one of the first things that Mick shared with me on our trips, on our many trips to Ben and Joy's for breakfast or coffee or whatever, before we moved here in 2001, was I had to know who Mr. Gossard was. So one of the first persons that I learned about, even before Bricker or Galbraith and, all of those names, I learned who Jimmy Gossard was. So bless you for being here. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just want to say I did know Jimmy as well, and Nancy. They actually babysat my children, who are 30 now.
Oh my gosh.
And have very loving, warm family. You knew you could always trust him and rely on him. And I am sorry for your loss. He was, a pillar of the community, like everyone said. So you are in our thoughts, and he did live a good life, and you should be very proud.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have the President Pro Tem report.
Let the family. So tonight we have a lot of legislation in front of us. You don't need me to tell you, you can count them up yourself, and there's a lot of work that's being done in this room tonight, but also over the course of about the next 6 weeks or so. You'll see quite a bit of movement around the village. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really excited to see that. It feels like with the weather changing, I didn't plan on 91 today, but with the weather changing, it feels like we got a break and we need to take it. And so I should state for the record that I am not in favor by and large, nor I believe has this council been in favor by and large of adopting legislation on emergency. We don't, every time we get together, just decide to pass legislation just either for the fun of it or for, without the public's benefit. So tonight, though, we're going to change that, and there's a couple of reasons why. The first one is a lot of things have come together, just like the weather. You don't like it, don't trust me, it'll change. A lot of things have come together for us, and we have a lot of business this evening, which I think the public will be very pleased to see. So across almost every committee, there's work in terms of road work, there is nuisance abatement, there is pretty much everything you could more or less ask for. We need to move on it. And I think tonight we make the exception. This is the type of stuff that we need to move and move quickly on. So I appreciate everyone's hard work, particularly over the last couple of weeks, because suddenly it did feel like it broke loose. June 1 happened, and a whole bunch of other things happened 10 days after that. So tonight is the culmination of a lot of that. And again, for the public's benefit, if there's ever an interest in seeing what's in front of any council member here, I'm looking down the row, it's yours. Consider it done. We'll show it to you. We'll give it to you. You can frame it if you wish. But we need to just get stuff done. And so tonight, I'll wrap up my comments, and I look forward to doing more commentary when we get to the committees. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other public comments, gentlemen? Nope. We do not have an executive session at this time, so that does take us to department reports. Did you get anything from?
Yeah, he's on vacation.
Oh, okay. So no sheriff's report for this evening. Law director, we had a little call with him today, but I don't believe he has a
Nope.
report. And Misty will report for utilities next meeting. Zoning and building, Mr. Hale, I don't have anything from him. I did go and actually meet the project manager down at Arbor Homes today. Pretty amazing how quickly they can get those things up. Very nice gentleman, and we're hoping that they can bring some good things for us, so.
Are they the ones doing the project at Wingate?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fiscal officers report.
Okay, I do have some items to share. Let's see, what you guys have in front of you are the reports for the month of June, or I'm sorry, May. Your reader report, and like Andy said, is, you guys, there's gonna be some legislation in here from the street department that you'll see an increase to appropriations. And then you'll also see expenditures as well. Increase in the street department, there's a lot that's gonna be coming through to that. The bank reconciliation here, there is, an adjustment for $400. These were a couple adjustments for some return checks, the collecting of delinquencies that you guys will notice, the $400. So that's where you'll see that adjustment. And, of course, it's been balanced to the penny. Is there any questions on your payments, your payment receipts, payment listings, appropriations? Again, I just wanted to let everyone know is that you're going to continue to see a lot of Arbor Homes, if you look at your receipt listing, Arbor Homes, for building, like those zoning permits and stuff. So you'll see a lot of those receipts on here, and you'll see a lot of restitution. So restitution's coming in heavy, okay? And that was for prior offenses from prior administration. If you guys are wondering what restitution. Okay, so, if I don't have any questions, I will ask for a appropriation status. motion to approve the appropriation status, the revenue status, the receipt listing report, payment listing, the comparison of budget and appropriated, the cash summary by fund, the reader report, and the bank reconciliation for May.
You have that motion?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Joyce and Rob?
yes.
Okay, Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay, and what I'm gonna pass around to you guys is this, this council meeting, and remember last council meeting, these ones were for the signatures. I've obtained David's already, so you'll have 4 sheets here to sign. Also, I wanted to announce that the, Mud Run Hustlers, sent us a very nice thank you card and said that this was the biggest fundraiser they ever had. So the car wash, it actually happened when it was raining. The car wash was a success for them.
That's
And they
awesome.
thanked everybody, for allowing that to happen, but that was the biggest, fundraiser they had.
Wonderful. Okay. Moving on, we have committee reports. Finance, Andy.
We met twice this month. We had a secondary meeting on June the 9th to discuss a whole bunch of stuff which has come in the door, which affects other committees as well, and others are going to be talking about this as well. We had an opportunity to meet with the Army Corps of Engineers in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, to talk about how the water tower is being built and funded. I am told today, just to set everybody's expectations, we're now on a 3-year timeline for this thing. So 3 years from about right now, we can expect the water tower. And that's what the Corps says. That's because there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And that includes all the financing that goes along with that. So we needed to iron that out. We also talked a little bit about the summer spending. Also, we might need to have another meeting here in June to look at our recovery plan and capital improvement program. And then finally, we talked a little bit about maybe needing to push spending to future years, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. Other than that, I think it'll be covered, some of the stuff will be covered in other committee meetings, and I'm good to go. The next finance meeting will be, I believe, we may need to move that, so we're targeting Wednesday, June the 13th.
July 13th.
July 13th, excuse me, thank you, that's today. June 13th is today. Well,
would be
but
July
otherwise,
6th.
if that doesn't work, I know, we may need
because
to
of the
move that
holiday.
because we have folks who are on vacation. And so we'll get you a date out there as soon as we possibly can, but it's potentially the next week over, which would be the 13th.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Pleasant Township, David?
We met on June 6th, and they discussed how the spring mowing campaign's coming along, and they're coming along and doing a lot of the pleasant roads, and people were well pleased with how the cemetery was this year for the Memorial Day. Everything was neat and cut, and they discussed that, and everything's going well, and waiting on their new tractor, and they also paid the bills. And we'll be meeting again in July.
Okay, thank you. Squad, Rob?
We met on June 8th at 8 p.m. We discussed quite a bit. We actually hired 2 part-time medics, basic EMTs. One of them already being a volunteer, so he's familiar with the area, which helps out a lot. Which, as everybody knows, we've had a lot of issues with staffing, trying to staff the Range Township truck as well as right here at Tri-County. So with hiring those 2, that really alleviates a lot of the staffing stress we've had. And then we also raised a rate as to what we pay our volunteers, because volunteers are an intricate part of our squad that helps with our staffing and flexibility. It was currently a $60 an hour flat rate for a 6-hour block, which equaled out to $10 an hour. However, we raised the rate as like we did for the full-timers, the starting rate, and we did it on basis of basic, intermediate, and a full-blown medic. So now a volunteer basic is $72, a intermediate $78, and a full-blown medic is $84, in hopes that this may entice more to volunteer and then bring them to Tri-County.
Is that per run?
No, that's per 6-hour block
Oh,
that
6
they
hour block.
volunteer,
Okay,
yes.
sorry, I missed that. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
I will say, a week ago Sunday, my mother had a fall, And unfortunately, we didn't hear the baby monitor that we use. So we have ADT set up. She yelled out, help me, and it picked up on the ADT monitor. That was at 4:52 in the morning. When when ADT called us, John and I went down the stairs. I went back to see her. He put the dogs up. They were already in the alleyway. They checked her out, got there, checked her out, and had her in London by 6 o'clock. It was just amazing to me how fast and they're so courteous and kind, and
We have a great crew over there. They're absolutely exceptional.
yeah, they were amazing. So kudos to them. Fire, Bill.
A meeting was on May 25th. I was actually like 15 minutes late to the meeting. I had forgot that they changed it. And I was reminded on my way back up the road from Washington Courthouse. So I was 15 minutes late. We had, give you an example, when a firefighter is hired there, whether it be volunteer or whatever, they've got 1 year by state law to get their 120-hour course. We got one firefighter that has not been able to get that yet, so we gave them the date of January 1st to get it. We won't be able to. They won't be able to be with us. They're still looking for money for station modifications. They asked me. I'm like, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. I'm like, just don't see it happening. I don't know. They had to do some work on one of the fire trucks, power steering pump slack adjusters, and we got that done. And they had grain bin rescue training on June 4th. They had that scheduled. And then starting in July, I got this wrote down. I probably don't matter, but the meeting time is going to change from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Once a month. And once again, they ask about funding for station modifications. They're trying to figure out where they're going to get the money to add some of the things to the station they need to add. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Water, wastewater, Becky?
Yes, we had 3 meetings, is that right? We've had 3 committee meetings, so we have been very busy.
Oh, by the
And-
way,
Yes.
council, this is not a chance for you to see who can have the most meetings in a month.
Oh, let's
Yes,
not do that.
that wasn't our goal, but we did have
Let's
a lot
not do
of
that.
pressing things that we wanted to, and a lot of that is coming through in legislation. We needed to take a good hard look at our bulk water and the cost. Our cost was far below surrounding areas, and possibly not even covering the cost of, creating the water. So we took a good hard look at it, and this is the first year that we've really sold a lot of bulk water. So we are asking for an adjustment to that price tonight in emergency legislation, and that will take effect tomorrow. Let's see here. We also, I think, is it in tonight's legislation too, to post Misty a part-time position? Yes. So we are going to hire a part-time water clerk with an allotted number of hours, and those hours would be based upon when Misty really needs coverage. So that is on to get a motion tonight too. So we had to work out some of the details with that, and we are also looking at a system to help the guys out eventually, where they don't have to go down and deliver that bulk water, like track it. So we're gonna keep a real close eye on the profits of the bulk water, and then hopefully, we can get that system in place so their time can be used better as well. So that was some of the things that we were working on. There was a lot. So other things may pop up as we are doing all these ordinances and resolutions that relate to water. I just don't know. We do really need to take a good hard look at our hydrants. We have 15 hydrants right now, according to a report from the fire chief, I believe, that need attention or replaced. Probably about half of them might need replaced. So that's a very critical project that we need to get working on sooner than later. So we're going to work really hard at our next meeting on trying to figure out where those funds will come from and how we can get started right away. So that's all I have right now.
Okay, so at this time, I will ask for a motion to post the open position for the hiring of assistant water clerk for a maximum of 628 hours yearly at the $15 hourly and as a 1099 contract.
Have that motion.
Okay, so there's a second?
I'll second.
David, Becky,
Yes. Roll call?
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
and Bill.
Yes.
Okay, motion's passed.
Okay. Andy, streets.
We continue to have a busy streets agenda this summer. You're going, hopefully, with council's permission and agreement, we'll be able to continue our pothole patching program. Say that 10 times fast. And tonight we'll be looking at legislation to enable us to get a contractor in here to start the large stuff, particularly all of the issues that are on 56 that everyone has seen. And we are on, if I remember correctly, and Courtney can correct me if I'm wrong, top of the list for July. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of these get fixed permanently. We've gone out of our way to make sure that we've specified not just temporary patches, we're trying our hardest to make them permanent. So whatever we can do, we will. And then beyond that, we did talk a little bit about changing some of the markings for parking downtown, so it's more clear as to where all the start and stops are, as well as looking at painting curbs. People know, of course, that you're not supposed to park on an orange area on the street. Some of them have unfortunately worn off. We got to put them back, and then we're going to go ahead and, with council's consent, we're going to try to move another one, which would cure a blind spot at the intersection of Market and Columbus Avenue. So with that, it was kind of a busy meeting, and that's why you have the stuff in front of you.
All right, so we have two motions then to ask for. The first is a motion to designate parking in the downtown London Street from Church Street to Houston Street and North London Street to Columbus Street.
That's right.
Is there a motion?
I'll give you that motion.
Oh,
Okay, I heard both at the same time. Rob first,
yeah. For a second, yeah.
okay.
A roll call, please.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Joyce.
Yes.
Okay. The second motion is to extend parking 1 car's length from the stop sign intersection of Market Street and West Columbus Street to help prevent the blind spot and to be safe.
Have that
Excuse me.
motion.
Oh,
Yep.
question. Did you say to extend parking or to
To extend the no parking
extend the no
by
parking?
1 car
Yeah.
By
length.
1 car length.
So there is for anyone who has driven down, I'll 10 seconds on this. This has been a blind spot apparently for a very, very, very long time. And I really, really, really want to emphasize that we are not anti-parking. We're trying to put parking everywhere we possibly can. The problem with this particular spot is that very large vehicles can park there, and when they do, you can't see traffic either ongoing or with you on Columbus Avenue, and it's a problem.
Yeah,
So it's a pretty big, significant issue. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
that's it.
I heard David, are you still placing that motion, David?
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Rob? Okay, Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
and Becky.
Yes.
Okay. That takes us to Parks and Rec. Becky?
Okay. There's just so many papers over here, everywhere. So this month at the park, we are showing Luca, which is a fun water film, animated, and Councilman Bill over there is going to lead us in some fishing and water games before the movie. So our event is going to start at 7:30 on June 25th. That's a Saturday, and then the movie will still start at dusk. So we have some fun, trying to toss your lure into buckets or whatever they may be, targets,
We've got at
and
least one kiddie pool.
okay, and win some
At my house.
prizes, and maybe we'll throw in some water balloons and squirt guns.
Super
Just
soakers.
yeah, super soakers. But we'll have a good old time out there, and we'll have some fun prizes for all the kids that come. And last time we had a fun time, but this time it even sounds more exciting. So
I'm sorry. I've acquired about, I can't remember the exact count, between 200 and 300 water balloons.
woohoo! Yes, awesome. So we are going to have a water balloon battle.
I like the way you think.
Good luck, Jeff, for picking them all up.
I know, I know. We may have to have like a half hour for the kids to pick up.
Hopefully they're biodegradable.
Yeah, whichever kid gets the most gets another prize.
There you go.
I like that.
Also, I'll talk a little more about it at Roundtable, but Summer Jam is coming up, and it will not be at the park. It will be downtown. We were going to post signs tonight about the parking, but the storm right now, I think they might get blown down, so they will be posted early tomorrow. So, like I said, I'll give more details about that. But I did find out, too, that we did get a grant from the Senator Hackett's
Well, the state capital budget.
budget. And I'll comment more on that later once we have it. So that's good news. And then baseball is just finishing up. They actually were trying to get their last tournament game in tonight. I don't think it made it. But I did hear there might be another makeup game or two out there as well. But pretty much by the end of the week, I think the season will be wrapped up out there. And for now, I think that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Record of retention, Andy.
Met last Friday, continue to go through stuff. You can see in the hallway over here, there's large amounts of things that say trash and stacked boxes and all that. Every single one of those papers has been looked at by hand. So that is a lot of work, and I thank the committee for doing that. We gotta keep going. So we'll be meeting, the next records meeting will be, I believe, Friday the 15th at 8 a.m.
Okay, thank you. Nuisance and abatement, Joyce.
As with all of the other committees, we have a lot to go over. I'll be as brief as I can be, but still cover as much as I can. The committee met on Wednesday the 1st, I believe, and we always, as a committee, go over any old nuisance and abatement complaints that we have or issues that need resolution. We go over all of that with Courtney, because she's pretty much who spearheads getting resolution to these issues. We just bring them to her attention. Then, once we go over that, we go over the to-do list, which is, of course, the list of things that still need to be addressed. We covered, I'm not going to individually go through these, we covered a lot out of about 18 to 20 old issues. I believe all of them but one or two have been resolved, and Courtney continues to work on that. Speaking of Courtney, I had the pleasure of meeting with her briefly last week with her pending change of status here with the village. The nuisance committee has graciously volunteered to take some items off of her plate to free her up to do some of the other things within the village. And I think that's very important, to assist her as much as we can. The committee has bought into that. So Courtney was kind enough to sit with me, and we went over some things. We will be meeting again, and I will be listening to pretty much how she builds a rapport with people in the village, and how she addresses, more importantly, how she addresses issues. So we'll get together on that. Yeah. And no, we're not going to be out knocking on doors. So just wanted to clarify that. As always, the members have agreed to continue driving around and to report citations. And Courtney will, anything that comes in here to town hall, they will transfer over to me so that we can react to them. Hopefully, it's already on our radar, whatever that may be, and we're already working on it. But I want everyone to understand, every complaint that we receive for nuisance and abatement is a process. We just can't go cut somebody's lawn, or we just can't. It's illegal. So we appreciate those that have stepped up and and have helped us in getting some grasses cut with permission. And we look forward to working with more homeowners to get some more things done as well. And I will say, the homeowners that Courtney has been in touch with have done a remarkable job getting some things cleaned up. So I think it's all presentation and attitude is what I think is, you know, yeah. So moving on, I want to say that there have been a lot of conversations built around grass clippings on streets. So I wanted verification from this. We do have an ordinance that you cannot put your grass clippings on the curb or the street. And if you do so while in mowing, you must clean that up. This is for the safety of anybody who walks or rides anything, be it a bicycle, a motorcycle, a scooter, whatever, anything with wheels. So I can't encourage you enough to please be aware that is an ordinance. So we would rather not have to call you and ask you not to do that. We talked about mowing. I'm not going to go into much detail to this yet because I think it's going to be addressed later. We did make a recommendation for Courtney to create a line item to hire a mowing company to maintain abandoned properties and such. That it just, you know, we cannot let them grow over 8 inches. I'd rather it not be half that, but anyway. So we are going to look at that, and you'll hear more about that when Courtney introduces that legislation. We talked about additional fees assessed. Because of the mowing, yes, we will be collecting that from the homeowner in one form or another. It's not something that will be paid immediately back to us, but we will get it through a long-term process if need be. But it will be paid back. Finally, we're going to talk about fireworks. HB 172 fireworks. I'm going to read something to you briefly. This is what DeWine voted on, or passed. Once it presented his desk, he signed off on it. We're allowed to let off fireworks as private citizens. There are stipulations to that. You just can't go up and down the streets and let off fireworks. Correct me, anyone that knows about this bill, if I'm wrong. You have to let off your fireworks on your private property. If you have permission to go onto someone else's property and do it, then you can do that. You cannot go into a church parking lot and let off fireworks. You cannot go into any Mason Park areas or Veterans Park or the community center. You just cannot do that. That you're not allowed to, that's not private property. That's public. So don't do that. So, you cannot set off fireworks with alcohol. You cannot consume alcohol and let off fireworks, so be careful with that. We as a village, along with any other city, village, ordinance, state, whatever, we have the right to put limits and or specifications on this law. This is for the state of Ohio, but we as a village, along with any other resident area, we have the right to say, no, you can't do it. Now, you can do it on holidays. You can do it on New Year's Eve, and the other major holidays, which you can look up House Bill 172. I'm not going to read all of that. Get familiar with the bill. And if you have any questions, please give us a call here at Town Hall, or you can call me. We will be able to answer your questions, or we will be able to get back with you with an answer if we don't know it immediately. I'll say more about fireworks at the round table. That concludes everything for nuisance and abatement. It's been very busy. Our next meeting is supposed to be July 6th, but again, I don't know where we are in the vacation realm of things, so it might be later in the month. We'll stay tuned. We'll let you know. Thank
Okay.
you.
May I add something?
Oh, yes.
I wasn't able to attend a nuisance meeting due to family emergency. However, with the grass clippings, I also believe that it is an EPA violation because you're polluting a storm drain. And that can cause us a lot more issues with the storm drains. Just be
In
considerate.
checking into that, I could not find that. I could not find that anywhere, that it's an EPA violation.
It's not a storm drain pollutant. Well, regardless, it can still
It-
mess up our
I
storm
agree with
drains.
you. We should not do it.
Changes all the
period.
drainage, Rob. It
Which is
definitely
costly,
changes
causes
drainage.
flooding.
It
Yeah.
most certainly does. And if
And-
anybody finds that, let us know, but I couldn't find it.
I thought I read it somewhere. I'll look back up again.
Thank you.
And also with the fireworks, I just hope people are mindful of their neighbors, and especially over in, the Rosewood area, that in town, houses are very close together. Don't be setting people's houses on fire, being, a moron, Just err to the side of caution.
2 years ago, my neighbor.
set nothing on fire.
Well, and I
Err to the
worry
side of
about-
caution, Bill.
Watch out, Bill, for the
Recently?
But that's all I had to add.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Safety block watch, Bill.
I don't know if I want to say anything now. Well, we had our meeting last Tuesday. We talked about the concealed carry law, and we talked about the fireworks, and we talked about the fire hydrants too. Courtney, it would be possible for me to say anything about what we're going
Yeah,
over?
you guys made a recommendation.
Okay,
Yep.
we recommended, well, for the fireworks, we have recommended an ordinance limiting the latest time you can set off fireworks to 11 p.m. on all the holidays with the exception of New Year's, which we've given 1 a.m. New Year's is actually at midnight, an extra hour. And we just hope to see, for people to show respect to their neighbors, and please abide by that, because, we have a lot of people that are, might have some people in town's got PTSD, we got
Animals.
animals, yes, that are gun shy. And, matter of fact, here recently, we had somebody lost a dog for a few days, because the fireworks going on.
veterans, yeah.
That being said, with the concealed carry, this really has nothing whatsoever to do with the constitutional carry that went into effect today. But in light of recent events that's happened, the town hall right now is a gun-free zone. And as a state law, that's a gun-free zone. However, the localities can change things, can make ordinances for their own use. And what we've recommended is to do away with the no gun restriction in town hall and allow concealed carry. And also, that will also require a change in council rules, because council rules specifically states, I remember seeing it in there, no guns. And so, that's pretty much what I've got.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Planning and zoning, Andy.
We were going to have a meeting tomorrow, so we didn't have, skipped one here. So I believe that has changed, though. It's the 28th. It's been canceled, and it's now, I believe we're pushing it to the 28th, and that's at 6 p.m.
Okay. All right, fasten your seatbelts. It takes us to ordinances and resolutions.
Okay. Bear with me, stop stop me, I may add a little bit before for some of the members that, like Andy says, that don't co-cross
Right.
for committees, so I'll probably add a little bit of ad lib on this, okay? Okay, the first one, and again, these are all emergencies, you will also hear me state it, if it's an emergency when I talk next. Ordinance 2022 -03, an ordinance amending ordinance 2019-25 for bulk water sales and rates, and declaring this as an emergency. This is what Becky was talking about. This is bulk water sales, as she spoke. We obviously have been selling it cheaper. This is our first year. We've probably gotten more. Surrounding municipalities have shut down water, so that's why we've started to see an increase in that. So, like Becky said, several meetings had happened, went around to collective municipalities, to get a number to make this effective immediately. And the reason why it's based upon emergency, like Andy was stating, is that, water season is slowly approaching us to end. So a lot of people are right now filling up waters, and we need to make sure that we're, comparable, but also that we're selling it for what and how much we spend to make it.
Can I add one thing to that? I did want to let everyone know that when I spoke with George and Aaron, who work there a lot, delivering that bulk water, they said that the people buying our bulk water commented that we have the cleanest water and the fastest distribution system, and they absolutely love it. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Thank you. Okay, so this would be placed on a motion to suspend the rules.
So is there a motion to suspend the rules?
You got that?
I'll second it.
Andy and Rob.
Okay.
Roll call?
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Okay, now we need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion?
Second.
David? And Becky?
Roll call?
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2022-03.
We need
Don't
a
do
Motion for
passage.
passage.
to vote.
Oh, my gosh. Now I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-03.
You have that motion?
I'll second.
Okay,
Joyce? Bill?
roll call?
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Sorry about that, folks. All right, so that takes us to ordinance 2022-04.
Okay, 2022-04, an ordinance increasing appropriations to line item 5101-800-590-0000 to allow for payment of additional funds for the water replacement during the CDBG project and declaring this as an emergency. So this is in addition to what we talked about, or what most residents and people traveling through, from the North London Street or South London Street down to where the sewer and street garage is. These were to be appropriated for additional monies due to inflation and due to items that unfortunately the village could not supply at the time. So this was an additional work to what we are gonna be paying to the CDBG.
One comment, please.
Yes.
This still, even after we add supplementary funds, our contribution due to the grant which was procured for this will still be under 25% of the total project. So just getting that out there. Thank you. That was a lot of hard work on your part, and it's taken 2 years to get done. Thank you very much for doing that.
Okay, so now we need a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion?
Okay,
Second?
Becky
Becky?
and Joyce.
Joyce?
Roll call?
Okay, Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Okay, now we need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion?
Okay, second?
Second?
Becky?
Becky?
Yep. Roll call?
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-04.
I'll give you that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Andy, Bill?
Yep.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, the next one is ordinance 2022-05, an ordinance authorizing Marcy Darlington or her designee to enter into an employee agreement with Courtney Bricker for the position of fiscal officer and village clerk for the village of Mount Sterling, and this is being passed as an emergency.
You have that motion?
is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
Joyce? So that
yes,
was Andy and Joyce? Okay, David?
yes,
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
okay, now we need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Motion?
Second?
Becky and Andy, roll call?
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-05.
You
Give
have
that
a
motion.
motion?
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay, I heard-
Joyce and,
Okay,
David,
okay, roll call?
Yep.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
okay,
Okay, the next ordinance is ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance increasing appropriations to the street fund to allow for payment of a pothole repair and declaring this as an emergency. Again, this is for the residential potholes coming from the street fund. Okay, so this would be any of your residential roads. I don't believe we had any alleys on it.
No, just the primary roads. The alleys are a separate project with our guys.
okay. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Okay,
Rob, Andy,
mm-hmm, roll call?
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Okay, now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion?
Okay, is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
David, Rob?
Yep.
Okay, Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Now I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-06.
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Robin,
Rob and Andy.
roll call?
Okay, Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-06 is passed. Okay, ordinance 2022-07, an ordinance increasing appropriations to the state highway fund to allow for payment of a pothole repair and declaring this as an emergency. This is the one that everybody travels over on 56. This is coming from the state highway fund. As we know, we do receive state highway fund monies. This is not coming from the street fund, but this is to do a permanent repair of what's out there right now. So, this would be considered as an emergency.
One additional comment is that the state highway money standard is to pave a thicker pavement. So the requirements for us to spend this money essentially require us to do on a highway, which is different from a residential street. So this is gonna be more money.
Okay. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll give you that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
That's Rob, then Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion?
Okay,
I'll second it.
David, Rob.
David, Rob? Okay, Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-07.
Give you that motion.
Second.
Rob, Becky,
Roll call,
Joyce.
yeah.
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-07 is passed.
Okay,
The next ordinance is 2022-08, an ordinance amending ordinance 2021-07 on adopting procedures and methodologies for the payment of water and sewer bills and declaring an emergency. This one was taken in the Water Wastewater Committee. There has been some changes to the water and sewer methodology per se, and ensuring that each household or each residency within Mount Sterling is charged correctly. So this is just an amend. This is changing a bit of the section, ensuring that each consumer, should we say, is being charged the correct amount.
In other words, Courtney, I got a question, for the right billing then, is it that?
Correct.
Okay.
I have just a little comment on that. So you do not have to worry if you are currently getting a water bill and you are currently being charged, your water bill is not going to change. These are for people that somehow the system missed and were not getting charged. So, it won't affect the majority of us.
Yeah, and it will, and again, the water rate is not increasing, so when we talk about amending the waterology per se, it's not that the increase, there's no increase coming. These are to consumers that have not been billed properly.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a rate increase, and like Becky said, if you're currently receiving a water bill, you would be, at this point, you would be notified by us if there's a problem.
Okay. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll give you that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Andy, Rob,
Yes. Roll call?
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion.
Second?
David, Becky,
Roll call?
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Now I need the motion for passage of ordinance 2022-08.
Motion?
Second.
Becky and Rob. Roll call?
Andy,
Yes.
Bill, or I'm sorry, David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
and Rob.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-08 is passed. Ordinance 2022-09, an ordinance to amend 2021-08, assessing a flat rate administrative fee to all water consumers in the village to now include each apartment and condominium unit, so that the administrative fee is applied uniformly in the village and declaring it as an emergency. Again, this is only pertaining to the three major complexes that we have. This is amending the rate and changing it from $50 to $50.30, which $50.30, which should have been the correct rate at the time. So this is not, again, an increase to any household residential housing. This is just for the three complexes that are here in town, making it fit the correct debt service that we should be charging.
Okay. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll give you that motion.
Okay.
Rob,
Yep. Second?
Second?
Becky? Yep. Roll call?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion.
Okay. Second?
Second it.
David, Rob,
Roll call?
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Now we need a motion for passage of ordinance 2022-09.
I'll give you that motion.
Second it.
Rob, Joyce.
Roll call?
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-09 has passed. And I believe this is the last of the ordinances for passage. The last one is ordinance 2022-10, an ordinance to vacate an unused alley held by the village of Mount Sterling and declaring this as an emergency. So I believe probably the only person that probably knows is Andy, because he sits on the planning. There, on Spring Street.
Yeah.
There is an alley, that is not visibly there by the eye, but during a survey, it is there. And what has happened is, the administration before the village, basically just threw some grass seed on it and let it grow, okay? So they never really properly, vacated the alley
It's on
properly.
Spring.
Where's
Yeah.
it at?
It runs from Spring to Madison, right?
Yeah. So, visually, you can't see asphalt, there's no dirt, there's no,
But
grindings, no
it's
nothing.
it's not only that, it's that there's no curb cutout, there's no mechanism for us to actually get in there, even if we wanted to do something with it. And so it has been abandoned for at least 30 years that I know of,
Andy,
potentially
is
more.
that the alley down at Skullgrass Stolber's?
Yes.
Close behind me?
Yes,
they-
yes, that's
They
correct.
never did a proper vacate of it if they were just gonna close it down. So
Okay,
it
I-
serves no purpose at this point. I mean, if you were to drive past it, so you can't even go down.
Yeah,
it.
you can't go down the alley.
Okay, that's why I thought it's
Yeah.
Grass Stolber.
And the only reason why it came up is because, they're gonna be putting a house there, you know, a modular home.
Yeah.
Is gonna be placed there, and, how it's set is it's over top of that alley, so what happens generally is that both parties that share that property line between those alleys, they have to share that, so they would be paying the taxes on it. So property owner A would pay half of it, property owner B would pay half of it. So it would no longer become a village.
I think last time that alley was even used, it probably was 1912, a horse and buggy.
Well, let's
Yeah,
just
it's-
say on your legislation, if you haven't noticed it, it was created back in 1912.
Yeah, so it goes back
So
right in.
if anybody's like a history kind of person that would love to see this, like Andy announced earlier during the meeting, is that all of this is prone to anybody asking for, at the public. So the plat is here, and I'm sure visually the people at home can't see this, but, so the plat actually used to be, it's an all-car tar bill. Used to be the owner, this was considered the west side addition to Mount Sterling. And the alley is in this direction, but it crosses, so I can see where it could have been through it. But unfortunately, it was never vacated properly. So, back in the day, they did issue stuff like this, so you'll see it on a big printout of how big it was, what the inches were at the time, who shared it. So it is quite interesting to kind of find that artifact, but.
And we are appreciative the homeowner worked with us on this. I know he's been very much trying to get his house built, and we understand that. This is one of those things you got to do before you got to get too far into construction. So thank you for all the effort that he's gone through.
So we don't have an ordinance or anything in the village prohibiting manufactured homes?
No, we do not. It was a variance that came here, so the reason why the variance came here is because it was over the extended zoning regulations that we had, so no matter what, he had to come here to ask for that.
To answer your question, though, that is under review presently
Yes.
at Building and Planning.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, motion to suspend the rules?
Have that motion.
I'll second.
David and Andy. Roll call?
Okay, Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings?
Give you that motion.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Rob, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes?
David?
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Okay, now motion for passage of ordinance 2022-10.
Have that motion.
Second.
David, Rob,
Mm-hmm. Roll call?
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2022-10 has passed. Okay, lastly, we have 3 resolutions. Okay, let me get organized here. Okay, so resolution 2022-03, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Onyx for technical services to reduce utilities cost and declaring this as an emergency. Okay, so the reason why this is placed on an emergency, is because as we know, the stock market goes up and down, as we've seen in gas prices, as we've seen in crypto, as we've seen in all of our stocks that we may have. Onyx changes daily, so this is nothing new to probably the 3 veteran council members that I'm looking at, Becky, Andy, and David. Along with our electricity, we also have a gas. So this is to help lock us in at a rate, so like when we're talking about related to, say, interest rates, this locks us in, as a municipality to the lowest rate that we could possibly get. This is an analytic study that's completed by Onyx, which is the supplier. They will lock us in for, I believe it's 36 months, is what I remember.
Yeah.
And it won't go up, so as inflation goes up, and as we know with prices in electricity, if people haven't already seen that, this will lock us in and we can't go any higher. So along with our electricity, this is the same thing, but just with our gas.
Okay. Motion to suspend the rules.
Give you that motion.
Rob?
Second.
I'll second.
I heard Becky.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, Becky, I'm sorry.
Yes, roll call,
Okay.
please.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Motion now to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Motion.
Okay.
Becky, Rob,
Oh, didn't hear Rob.
yeah.
Roll call?
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Now we need a motion to adopt Resolution 2022-03.
Give you that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call?
Rob, Andy? Okay, Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
and Bill.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2022-03 is passed. These next two are what Joyce alluded to in her nuisance and abatement report. The first one is resolution 2022-04. It's a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to add a line item which is indicated as 1000-730-399-0000 in the Uniform Accounting Network System and declaring this as an emergency. So what this line item is this is money, that will be reallocated, so this is not gonna be an increase in appropriations. This has to do with the general fund. It has been approved by the state auditor to allow me to reallocate monies to pay for a lawn care service, that would go around and mow vacate properties. Okay, so we're talking about when we need them, they would go out and mow it. So these are properties that we've exhausted all efforts, meaning I've called them, sent attorney letters, sent Jack to tag them several times. This would only be after every option ahead of it has been exhausted. Because as Joyce advises that this money does not get returned back the next day, okay? So these are properties, if you haven't noticed it, I'm sure everybody has, because I have gotten a lot of complaints from people that there's property owners that have left. So we have a lot of those that have left. And then we have some of them that just tag me and put it on my taxes. Okay, so, this is, I will say the committee has advised me, and in which I agree, is that this would be at the last and exhausted cost, because we don't wanna have to pay for it. And the houses that we currently see, that you've noticed it, they have to do a knockdown of the grass first before they can even get and maintain it. So, again, this is something that we haven't really had to experience, because me calling them, they have done what I've said, but here this year, it is not that case. And we're dealing with landowners, not renters, so that's a little bit of a different scope than what we've normally dealt with. This is to add this line item and to allow me to reallocate monies.
And just to be clear, that would be, we would be paying as a last resort, but then eventually we will get reimbursed,
Correct,
okay?
yes, yep.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll give you that.
Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, Andy and Rob.
Okay.
Roll
And then
call.
just to add a little bit on that, I know before the roll call, is that the reason why this is an emergency, is because as grass season heightens and all this rain that we've gotten, we don't want this to extend for another month and a half. So again, why it's on emergency. Roll call.
Yes, please.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Joyce.
Yes.
Motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion.
Okay,
Second it.
David, Rob.
roll
Okay,
call?
Rob,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Motion for adoption of Resolution 2022-04.
You have the motion?
I'll
Okay.
second.
Joyce, Andy,
Roll call?
Andy,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2022-04 is passed. Lastly, resolution of 2022-05, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Palmer's Lawn and Landscaping LLC for lawn cutting services and declaring this as an emergency. So just like our legislation prior to this, this is legislation to allow us to have a contract with a local landscape company. The contract shows in their prices and things that, we would have to be, that we would be charged. Also, along with his liability insurance, that if something happens and he throws a rock in somebody's, window or something, the village is not liable for that, so that would be carried under himself as his business. So again, like I said, some of these prices that you'll see on the payment listing will show here recently how much we're gonna be, paying for it. But also his contract, obviously with our approval from the solicitor, is, in his liability insurance, and, that we would just call upon him when asked. So this is not, a continuous every single time, because if I can get in between cuts and somebody mows, then we won't have to use them. So this is gonna be on a need-to-need basis, of this contract.
Okay. Motion to suspend the rules.
I'll give you that motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Andy, Bill,
Roll call?
David,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings.
Have that motion.
Okay,
Second?
David, Joyce?
roll call?
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay. Motion for adoption of Resolution 2022-05.
You have that motion.
Second.
Joyce and Becky?
Roll call?
Joyce?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Lastly, Resolution 2022-05. It has passed. No more legislation. And again, public can come in, speak with me, ask for copies. I would be gladly to give those to you.
Okay. Round table.
I know you look right at me every time, as you know.
You tell about all those fun things.
I know. So I do want to remind everyone that tonight is the last night to nominate for Beautiful Yard competition. So if you have any more beautiful yards, you can email them to Courtney. I know I'm going to make one last drive around town and nominate a few tonight. They will be judging tomorrow, and it's great prizes. It's free, and plus you have bragging rights, and we ask that the winners, we hope that they will want to join in the parade and hang their accomplishments on their car. And so,
Is that monthly then?
nope, this is just the Chamber of Commerce event that we're doing.
Gotcha.
And then, as I mentioned earlier, Summer Jam starts Thursday. Thank you again to all the council members that have donated bicycles. And thank you to the Put a Lid on It grant, where we got all of our helmets from. And we're going to have a few other fun things mixed in there. That event will be on Saturday by the Parks and Rec Committee from 3 to 6. There'll be a lot of children's activities going on that are free. And don't forget that Saturday from noon to 4 is wristband day for the kids. So for $15, they can ride for 4 hours nonstop. That's the fun time. And if anyone wants to volunteer for anything, we have an information booth that will be at the gazebo. We have lots of judging for contests that still need volunteers. So if you want to volunteer for anything, reach out to me or Courtney or Barbie, and we'd be happy to sign you up for something. And also, the pie in the face of council members and the mayor has been changed to Friday night. So it's from 6 to 8. So you can come out and all in fun, throw a pie in the face of one or all of us,
Be gentle, please.
right?
Yes, please.
And I don't know what else to say about that. So so please be patient when you're driving. I know it's a pain to have roads blocked off, but it is an event for the community. This event is only once a year. We have a few other events, and I will tell you, we get lots and lots and lots of good feedback on these events. It's disheartening when you get the bad, but please consider all the work that went into it and all the fun that the kids mostly are going to have. So I just want to throw that out there.
I'm going to add to that. I told Becky that I'm going to make a board for us to stand behind. I should have it finished tomorrow.
Oh, good. I don't.
I'm going with, I told Courtney a little bit ago in her office, something similar to a Star Wars theme, because I'm a Star Wars buff. I
Chewbacca.
however, I had to,
I knew where that one was going.
The force be with you.
yeah, I'm gonna probably put that on the board. May the force be with you, or use
Hi,
the
be with
force. What I got is I've got a hole, a 12-inch hole for a sticker head in. Unfortunately for Rob, he's gonna probably have a bad
About
back.
16,
after this
18
over
inch
with, 'cause he's much taller than the rest of us. I built this and cut this hole to fit somebody shorter than me. So Becky,
Thank you. Yes, I'm the only one.
You
Thank
got-
you.
between Rob and Becky, you've got almost 2 feet.
I'm not sure how the dynamics there are going to work for me.
You'll be on your knees.
I'm going to have a square around it with crosshairs going into the circle, and then I'm going to have, like you would on one of the Star Wars fighters, I'm going to have arrows coming in at an angle. They're going to be bright orange, saying this is your target. And I'm going to
This is your
put something similar to
transport.
either use the force or may the force be with you.
Or do not use force.
Luke on your
And it's black. It's black in color, and it's gonna have all lighter colored accents.
It'll be something other color after about the first 10.
Yeah.
Flies coming at
I use an oil-based paint, so
Your head's inside a little
Able to
circle.
raise that up just a little bit,
well, we
please.
could raise up a little bit, but
You can maybe hold it up when when
Yeah.
it's your turn.
I'm
That's
gonna have
probably-
it set on 2x4s and be
I
braced.
just stick
you
a
bring
chair
a
behind it, I
lightsaber?
guess.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I've got a blue laser. Who's real legal? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, anyone else?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
First of all, I think, excuse me, for the tournaments down at the ball fields, I believe congratulations is in order for the winning team. No? It's not over yet?
Well, there was something posted, I thought, on Curtis.
Somebody went undefeated in Mount
Well,
Sterling.
there was
one
the
of teams.
boys 12U red,
Yeah, they
Oh,
they
okay.
won theirs.
undefeated.
Well, I was all set to
Congratulations to them.
congratulate
I
our
mean, come on.
grandson.
That's all right.
Well, good luck to all of the teams still in the tournament. It's exciting. Secondly, I would like to reiterate about the grass clippings. It's very important. We need to be respectful of motorists or anything on wheels coming by. And I want to thank those of you in the community that have ownership pride, and you've cleaned up a lot. And, we've done things more so this year than we normally do. So it's just exciting to see the village look so nice. And we do have a few abusers, and you're always going to have that, unfortunately. But I think that we have a workaround to get those fixed as well. So I'm excited for that. Lastly, I want to thank each and every committee person and committee chairperson and Courtney and Marcy for everyone attending all of these, it seems like never-ending meetings.
June was busy.
Yes, and I think that we've started a great work, and I'm very happy to be a part of this committee, of the committees that I'm a part of, and a part of the village council, especially a council such as this that likes to get things done and see progress. So I want to just personally thank each and every one of you. I think it's been awesome.
Anyone else?
We had alumni weekend this past weekend, and the museum was open, and we had a great attendance there. A few people even looked at my jerseys. That made me feel good, but we had over 25 people come to the museum. We had yearbooks, a lot of the old jackets and stuff, and also a great banquet out there at the community center, and it was good to see who lost their hair and who this and that, and so, but it was so great for so
That's
many.
why I didn't go, David.
Yeah, I'm a member of the club, but also it was great that, and also tomorrow is Flag Day, so don't forget to put up your flag and remember what it stands for in this great country.
Amen.
Yep.
Anyone else? All right, not too bad. 8:19, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Andy, if the library wants to put anything at the information booth about upcoming events.
I raised this thing, and I think they're gonna.
It's lengthy, but
I
thought the
usually do,
bookmobile was
but
gonna be out.
This time I
Oh.
walked out without it, so
Well,
thank you.
No
Tell
one's
them to
no
let
one's
us-
talked to you. Okay.
Let us know, because Barbie and I are like planning where every little
Well,
thing's gonna go.